Now let's take a look at security baselines. Security baselines in Intune are pre-configured settings related to the security of the devices based on best practices. So Microsoft's gone through, seen the best practices, and compiled them for the end users to be able to deploy to their devices. Kind of a cheat sheet, if you will. The trick is if you're using a configuration profile or compliance policy or a defender policy somewhere else that includes these same security elements, you don't want to have anything that's conflicting. So if you're going to use security baselines, make sure that the policy settings in there aren't also being applied through another policy somewhere else, because sometimes those will conflict and cause issues. So, but if you're not using any of those others and you just want to go with Microsoft's standard best practices, what you can do is use the security baselines available to you within Intune. So to get there, from the home screen, we go down to endpoint security. Once we're in endpoint security, we see security baselines. So security baselines, when you click on it, give you several different pre-configured elements along with when they were last published. So let's look at the first one. Security baseline, create the profile, and we name it, and go next. And then you can configure the settings. And so from the settings, you see that there's voice activated locks, app runtimes. There's a lot of pre-configured settings that are in here. This is why you have to be careful that these aren't also being managed somewhere else so you don't have conflicts. So we can see that there's a whole bunch of these that are available for us to manage. Again, autoplay, BitLocker, because BitLocker is also in another location. So here's some more policies related to BitLocker. So just as you're signing these, just kind of make sure that you're not managing these in another location. Again, Microsoft Defender, right? There's a whole lot of Defender features. And so these are Defender also. All right, so let's cancel out of this one and check one of the others. So again, that was the security baseline for Windows 10, the device. Now, Defender for endpoints. So yes, this will give us more features that we can manage. Attack surface reduction rules. This is one of the primary ways to help your organization with security. Again, BitLocker again. So we see some more policies that manage BitLocker. Again, try not, if you're going to configure it, make sure you know what you're doing so that they don't conflict. Device installations, firewall again. Again, Microsoft Defender. So you have more elements that you can set up based on protections. And let's jump to the other one. We have baseline for Microsoft Edge. So this is how we want to secure Edge. Creating our profile with our name. And we can look at some of these. So Microsoft Edge. And how we want Edge to respond. What extensions cannot be installed? Authentication, messaging. So these are all related to features within Microsoft Edge. Then we have Windows 365 security baseline. So inside here we have, again, more of the same settings: autoplay, credentials, device guard, device installation, Internet Explorer activities, firewall again, Microsoft Defender. And let's look at the final pre-configured. And this is the apps for enterprise security baseline. So this one is how apps are configured. So again, put a name in there. Next. So we can see the different apps that are out there and we can manage those. So say Microsoft Word. We can see some of the security elements in here. Block macros. require application add-ins are signed by a trusted publisher. So by working with these, it'll globally push this to whatever device groups we want it to apply to. Security and Trust Center, default file block behavior. So we can adjust these. Right now that's enabled. We can disable it or not configure it, where block files are not open. So you can go through there and see what meets the needs of your organization. As you've heard before, every organization is inherently individual, like a fingerprint. So no organizations are going to be similar or the exact same. And that Microsoft has put best practices. These are some of the areas you want to pay attention to. But what you set, select, enable, it's personal to your organization. So make sure you're going through here, and when you're doing it, send them and assign it to a test or a pilot group first to determine how that is going to interact, and fix it and adjust it so that when you get to that point, you can then push it out. So again, it's an entire process. And then once you've established that it's a good build, and you can push it out to your entire production enterprise so that they can be safe in all of those pre-configured areas. But again, if you're setting up any other configuration profiles for any of these security elements in another location, make sure they don't conflict.